So you get those three things really: increase in core temperature, increase in sweat production, increase in cardiac demand. Now, those are acute variables. Why would we want to increase core temperature? Why would we want to increase sweat rate? Why would we want to increase cardiac output? What we're not getting realistically is any change in fat burning, which is why people use sweatsuits.
I think that they're using it for.
And in fact, when you get hotter, you will decrease the amount of fat that you utilize, and you'll predominantly use carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And that is probably due to an increase in hormones like adrenaline or cortisol, whereby we will then preferentially use carbohydrate as a fuel. And the other thing is, if anyone has actually looked at the amount of fat that anyone burns during exercise, it's absolutely minimal.
Yeah.
So when people talk about, I'm going on a fat burning session, it's literally grams that you're using.
Yeah.
And that's determined by intensity. So when you're wearing a sweatsuit, because cardiovascular demand is relatively higher, because you've got a higher core temperature, because your sweat rate's higher, the intensity of exercise is less.
Yeah.
So because it's less, that potential for you to burn energy is also less.
And also because of the dehydration from increased sweat rate, that'll reduce the intensity for longer. So at the back end of the session, intensity will have to be reduced.
That's it. So if you're not replacing those fluids that you're losing, intensity will be reduced further because of that potential dehydration. Now, what people do confuse an increase in energy expenditure with is an increase in heart rate. So just because there's an increase in heart rate doesn't mean that you're burning more energy. The increase in heart rate is evident when you're wearing a sauna suit because the heart has to work harder to pump blood to the periphery, not because you're demanding more energy. The mechanical demands are those energetic demands that are required from running at that intensity. Nothing else apart from maybe the heart beating a little bit faster than the energy that's required for that, or maybe a little bit more energy from the brain to be able to process some of these extra physiological demands.
It's interesting because that's something that your heart rate monitor doesn't tell you. It literally tells you your heart rate's this, your calorie expenditure is this. So they'll look at the session and they'll think, oh, we've burnt way more calories. But actually it's the mechanical demands that is what's going to burn the more calories, basically.